Kiana Daniel's with us, best-selling author and CEO of Diva. Now, Kiana, it's great to see you. What are your thoughts about investors and what they should be thinking? I know you have different categories here of how to do this and how to do it right. For example, looking at some names that are really the kings in their particular category.
Absolutely, and good to see you. So yes, when I invest as a casual investor, I'm a busy mom. I went from $0 to $5 million by value investing. And that means not being stuck to my screen all day and trying to figure out which direction the market is going to go, but rather doing long-term investing in value assets that typically are category kings, or some of the other areas that I can mention after this. But category kings are basically the companies that their name pops into your head the moment we tell the name of the category. So for example, if I say search engine, or if I say social media, if I say cryptocurrency, the first name that pops in your head is potentially the category king. And they typically have the biggest chunk of the market share and are typically the ones that are able to continue to grow for the years to come.
Right. And I mean, those are usually the leaders in the group, the mega caps. And people like to invest in those because they're usually tried and true and have proven themselves to a certain extent. So you were mentioning electric vehicles, for example, you had Tesla there. Some of the others, you also said Disney is a name that you think shows some interest. Tell me about some of the leaders that you like.
Absolutely. So this can also be very fun and at a personal level as well. So for me, Disney is a category king because I have a 3-year-old daughter and she was literally named after a Disney character. So for us, it is not just that Disney is a category king, but also it is a personal investment that I want to make into a company that I like and I'm confident in, and they have been around for the years to come. Some of the other tech stocks, you were talking about Microsoft before, it definitely is one of my favorites because I use Microsoft products. So the other leaders in different categories, for example, if we talk about AI or computing or things that are going to shape our future, I like Nvidia, AMD, Intel. These are all the companies that are shaping our future.
Right. And you mentioned Amazon on there as well, so you don't have to go out shopping to search for things. You just do it, at your ease and comfort. And I agree with that. I mean, I see that. A name like Peloton, which has come under some scrutiny, everything from the production levels, which may be minimized, or the CEO, where you have activist investors really looking at the CEO. But do you think it could be a takeover target? I mean, we've seen the Peloton stock being beaten down, but there's nothing like Peloton. People who have Peloton seem to really love it and love the brand.
100% guilty as well. And I am invested in Peloton, just so you know. And here's why. Because Peloton definitely has created a brand name that is very well known. They have been brand positioning. And even though right now they are under scrutiny, this kind of reminds me of Chipotle back in the day when they had this virus that went around and got a bunch of people sick and their stocks sold off. And then what happens typically is that when a company gets such a bad rep, the good thing about PR is any PR is good PR, because eventually for the years to come, people are going to forget why they heard the name Peloton, but they're only going to remember the brand name Peloton. And as a business owner, I understand that this is a very huge advantage to a company. So yes, I am investing in Peloton. I am going to warn you, it may be very, very risky, but they have created this company culture that I hope they can use to reestablish their brand name and the trust in their company.
And last but not least, I mean, you have a few other themes, whether it was doing good deeds, women's businesses, making life easier for folks, transitioning to the future, all of these themes that we seem to be enjoying and doing. And you have a few names on there: Netflix, Match, Intuit, FedEx, Facebook, DocuSign, Tesla was on there, Bumble, the dating app. Any other names that you wanted to highlight here as maybe potential winners?
Absolutely. So what I want to really mention is that personal finance is personal and investing could also be personal. The reason why I've named all of these names in my list is because I am personally customers of these companies. For example, Bumble, a women-owned dating app, it is not a category king, and it may actually not be doing very well financially, but this is something that, based on my moral belief, based on my mission, which is to empower women take control of their financial future, take charge of their own future. This is something that I simply want to invest based on my own interests. I may not recommend, you may not even care about that. So what I'm really saying here is that when you're trying to long-term invest, when you're trying to value invest, you want to go for either category kings or companies that improve life, companies that help us do something better, faster, and cheaper, or companies that are simply doing something good for the humankind and go along with your personal beliefs.
Yeah, Kiana, it's great to speak with you. You're such an inspirational speaker, a best-selling author, and as you share your personal stories about, meeting a loved one on Bumble or your daughter Jasmine after Disney, it's a lot of fun to chat with you. And as you said, these types of investments are very personal and people need to do their own homework. But if you really love something, right, you can go for it. I mean, my kids have been going to Chipotle since the beginning of time. And look at how that stock has done. Great. So it's nice to speak to you. Until next time, thank you so much. Kiana Danial
for having me.
of Invest Diva. Thank you.